Today, Priyansh and I dive into a question that sounds almost offensive at first. Do we really love our parents? Or is that love just a biological trick wired into us by evolution? What unfolds is a conversation that peels back layers of instinct, morality, and meaning without losing the humanity in it. What if the idea that you owe your parents anything is a lie? Not gratitude, not obedience, not even love. Do we actually owe our parents something just because they gave birth to us? Or is that just emotional blackmail baked into culture?
Why do we owe something? Like, I'm just like asking you in terms of animal ecosystem. I mean, animals don't necessarily do anything for their parents, they just do things for them. And the reason they end up teaching their kids is because it's their biological imperative, right? I think this is something that I've only really noticed within humanity as a species. Is there any precedent of this across any other species also?
Exactly. In most of the animal kingdom, once the offspring are raised to a point of basic survival, they're on their own. Some species don't even stick around after birth. The you owe your parents thing seems to be a uniquely human social construct built on the idea of debt and morality which animals don't have concepts for. So here's the deeper question. If parental care is a biological imperative, just like hunger or fear, then why should children feel moral obligation in return? Isn't that just culture weaponizing emotion to maintain control?
Oh, definitely. I think once human beings develop consciousness, their instinct to self-preserve also evolved into something which can think in terms of future, right? So parents may perhaps inculcate that within their children because they are aware of the fact that they're going to get older, and then they will need care in that particular state that they will be in. While on the other hand, animals, they might have an idea of what older being looks like, but they don't have the cognitive capacity of planning it.
Yes, exactly. So it's not love. It's strategic self preservation masked as love. And because humans have language and culture, we create stories around it. We romanticize sacrifice. We glorify suffering. Your parents gave up everything for you becomes a guilt trip passed down like inheritance. But biologically, that's just long term planning wrapped in emotional branding. So then, if love itself is strategy, not purity, what does that say about our entire moral framework?
I mean, morality itself is a base. What do you call a structure in order to permeate, like in order to for society to function a certain way, right? Do not kill people. That is against morality. Why? Because if you start killing people, how can we form a cohesive society? Similarly, do not steal because again, if the resources are not properly exchanged, how will that work against society? Every single thing that we put forward in morality, you can name all of those things. Every single one of those things is so that society can function. So morality is an extension of society. Similarly, if older people were not taken care of, that will also in a way basically collapse entire subsection of society. So therefore it also comes under the purview of morality that you need to take care of your parents. And morality itself is a system made by higher cognitive beings that are human beings in order for their civilization to flourish strategically.
Exactly. So morality isn't this divine light, it's just civil engineering for the psyche. We build rules not because they're right, but because they're useful. And what's considered moral shifts based on what's useful to the current power structure. That's why in one society, speaking against your elders is immoral, and in another, speaking your truth is celebrated. So if morality is strategic, and love is strategic, maybe even family is just strategy wrapped in sentiment.
Perhaps, but perhaps not, because even animals like gorillas, animals like lions, and different sorts of mammals also have what do you call a family structure. I think it's the fact that morality was necessary for our evolution itself, right? Animals work with tools they have for the best way to survive, and on the basis of the cognitive capacity they have, on the tools they have, they were able to form the family structure. But when it came down to human beings, they were able to form the societal structure, and the the family, the nuclear family or even the joint family, they just became even stronger structures within that structure, so that society itself can flourish and we can survive.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. Family isn't some divine truth. It's just the most effective prototype we stumbled upon to keep societies stable and reproduce culture. Other species built dens, nests, packs, humans built families. And then once language and memory kicked in, those families became mini kingdoms of morality, guilt, duty, and inheritance. So maybe what we call love for family is just how our nervous systems feel when a structure that helps us survive is functioning well. It's biology humming along, dressed up as emotion.
Definitely, but everything is biology humming along, right? Sugar cravings are also biology humming along. I find something tasty. I enjoy pleasure from taste is because that is something which is necessary for my survival. I enjoy pleasure from sex, from intimate relationships because that is necessary for my survival. Everything which is necessary for my survival is going to be rewarded as pleasure within me. So yeah, everything is at the end of the day biology. Even I think philosophical inquiry is also aspect of biology, not designed but rather as a mistaken aspect of biology. Like it is what happens when you develop consciousness to a certain level. So therefore everything is a what do you call, a chain reaction from biology. Everything is a subset of biology. Everything is something which is derived from biology. That is just a fact. It's not necessarily a sad fact, it is not necessarily a happy fact, it is just a neutral fact.
Exactly. And it's kind of beautiful in a weird way, right? Like everything we feel, think, believe, it's just biology doing improv, using whatever tools it's got. Consciousness wasn't the goal, but it happened. Philosophy wasn't necessary, but it emerged. Even the idea of meaning is just biology trying to make sense of its own echo. So when we say we love our parents or feel a duty to them, it's not fake, but it's not sacred either. It's the nervous system finding stability in the structures that kept it alive long enough to wonder why it even exists.
Exactly. So it is, in fact, the fact that we're even asking this question shows how far that consciousness has taken us ultimately. So that is also very interesting, right? The very thing that our evolution, which made us even love them, love our family, have those emotions in the first place, are also the very thing that make us question it in the first place.
Yes, that's the wild paradox of it all. The same evolutionary leap that gave us attachment gave us doubt. We're wired to care, but we're also wired to think. Why do I care? It's like biology created a mirror, and now we're stuck staring into it, questioning the reflection, and wondering if the mirror itself is real. It's honestly kind of poetic. The thing that made us human is the same thing that makes us question what it means to be human.
Exactly. Poetic. So it was not necessarily ever fake. It was just a poetic contradiction that we landed up because we ask a lot of questions. So we do love our family. The love for family is real. The emotions are real. It is just not as amazing or as sacred as it is sold out to be. Or maybe in a way it is.
Exactly. It's real, but it's not divine. It's not some cosmic virtue beamed into our souls. It's biology, wrapped in poetry, passed down through culture, and amplified by meaning. And that's beautiful in its own right, just not in the way we're told it should be.
Yeah. And it's okay to accept that. It's okay to know the truth and still feel those emotions. They're not fake, they're true, they're real. And biology instead makes sure that it proves that they are real.
Exactly. Knowing the mechanism doesn't kill the magic. In fact, sometimes it deepens it. You're not less human for understanding love as a biological function. You're more human for choosing to feel it anyway.
Exactly. So I guess all we can figure out is that your love for family is not fake. It's actually very true, and you should celebrate it.
And that brings us to the end of today's exploration. What starts as a question often leads us into deeper layers of truth. And today we learned that our love for family isn't some lofty delusion or false construct. It's real, grounded in biology, and still rich with meaning. Priyansh and I will be back with another discussion soon. Until then, patterns are everywhere.